equipment demonstrations, new technologies, and a chat with Michigan State University President Samuel Stanley, all from the 2021 AgroExpo. I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
The 2021 AgroExpo opened with a bang, and we are joining Dylan Barber, the hay and forage specialist with John Deere, to talk a little bit about choppers. There was a chopper demonstration on both Tuesday and Wednesday of the AgroExpo show, and he's going to fill us in a little bit on the equipment he used as part of the demo. Dylan, can you tell us what you were running this week?
Yeah, sure thing. So as we've displayed today, we've got our largest model here of the whole self-propelled forage harvester lineup. It's a 956 horsepower John Deere 9900. We do range from the 8000 series, which start at 375 horsepower, all the way up to 616 horsepower. And then we do, on our 9000 series, we go from 616 horsepower up to 956.
Can you talk a little bit about the kernel processor in this piece of equipment?
So the kernel processor that we use, generally speaking, for most of the customers in this particular region are what we call the John Deere Extreme processor. So it's got a 50% speed differential between the rolls, and then we do have mixed tooth count rolls. So we have a 110 tooth count on the front roll and then a 145 on the rear roll. They are 10-inch diameter rolls, and we even run an X-cut roll in this machine, which is a cross-cut pattern. So we'll have not only just a regular sawtooth profile on the rolls, but then we'll have another kind of spiral cut going around the rolls, so that has a little bit of a tearing action, similar to, say, a shredlage processor or the Deere shredder processors in our competitor machines.
Okay. What differentiates the John Deere moisture sensor from the competition?
So as you can see here, we've got our Harvest Lab 3000 resting on the spout right now. Not only can you measure just moisture with that particular sensor, it is an NIR sensor, so we can measure not only moisture, but we can measure ADF, NDF, starch, crude protein, and in alfalfa, instead of measuring starch, we can measure sugar content with that. In addition, we can map that data out so that way it could be more valuable to, say, a customer. If they want to try different varieties, explore different options, so that way they can expand on their business and improve their bottom line. And then in addition, we could take that Harvest Lab, use it as a stationary unit during, say, the winter months. We can use it as a stationary unit, and they could be measuring in-siled crop coming out of the pile. And then once the cow gets through processing it, say, when it comes to applying manure, we could take that same exact sensor and you do manure sensing, so we can do variable rate based off of nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium. So 3 applications with the same sensor.
For growers who weren't here to see the demonstration this week, where can they go with questions? Who can they call?
You can either visit your local John Deere dealer for questions, or you can even visit the John Deere website at johndeere.com. And that can give you more insight as to the options, some of the bigger key features, say like the engine. If you want to learn more about the characteristics of that engine, we can go through there.
Great, thanks Dylan, I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, we'll be back with more from the 2021 AgroExpo after this break.
There's torque, then there's 1,050 pound-feet of available best-in-class torque. There's towing, then there's up to 37,000 pounds of available best-in-class towing. There's backing up a trailer, then there's backing up with available class-exclusive Pro Trailer Backup Assist. In other words, there are trucks, and then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Welcome back to the 2021 AgroExpo. We've moved from one corner of the grounds to another to check out some of the latest technology available at this year's show. Joining me now is Kirk Babcock, and he is the owner of Ariel Ag. Kirk, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about was drone spraying and how it's new to Michigan. Can you talk a little bit about what's been happening over the course of this summer in terms of drone spraying in the state?
Sure. The drone spraying is very new to Michigan. It just got approved at the end of June to be able to use the drone for application purposes.
Can you talk a little bit about where its place is in Michigan agriculture?
Sure. Where we see the place for the drone is not as a replacement for ground spraying or for aerial application even, but it has its own place for spot spraying or spraying where aerial can't get into, even for late season fungicides, things like that where ground can't get into. It has a place where it can come into and accomplish those tasks for the farmer.
And this could be on any type of farm.
Yes, it could actually be, we've done a lot of row crop, but where we really see it branching out is orchard, vineyard, vegetable crop, things like that. It could be used for many different farming type applications.
Where else can this be of benefit on farm for Michigan growers?
Not only will it do spraying of your fungicides or any type of pesticide, we can also do cover crop. We can attach a broadcast type spreader onto this, and it'll actually go in and seed cover crops in some places where you can't really get into seed cover crop or time-wise of the seed cover crop. For an example of some corn, we harvest late in here, and to get cover crop into the corn, you have to put in early. Well, so we can do that with this and get it growing before we even harvest the corn. So,
for folks who have questions, where should they turn if they'd like to learn more?
If they'd like to learn more, you can go to our website, arielagtech.com or rantizo.com, and that'll explain everything about the drone and all of its applications and what it could be used for.
All right, Kirk, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. We'll be back with more from AgroExpo after this.
At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you. This year's AgroExpo kicked off with the Maba Regional Ag Club and Clinton County Catalyst Club breakfast. The keynote speaker at Tuesday morning's breakfast was Michigan State University President Samuel Stanley. President Stanley joined Farm News 5 after breakfast to talk a little bit about Michigan State University's connection to Michigan agriculture.
It's extraordinary, and it's really at the core of what we do. And I think as I think about, the MAC, as it was called, the Michigan Agricultural College, that really was the founding of Michigan State University. And there was this concept of really doing two things. One was provide to many farmers in the state and the rest of the state the opportunity for access to education. And the second was to establish something, and that really grew into extension, that would take the research and the knowledge generation that was taking place on the campus and translate it out to the fields, to the farms across Michigan to make a difference. And that fundamental principle, I think, remains today. We still use that extension concept to drive what we're doing, and we're still very committed to agriculture in Michigan. I think, as you said, we're in all 83 counties, so we have some extension presence in every county in Michigan. And I think for many counties, this is their connection essentially to innovation, what's new, best practices in agriculture, because that's really what we're trying to do. And we're trying to work with them and understand what are the challenges they're facing as growers, as raising livestock, what are the challenges they're facing, and then how do we take the knowledge we have of both best practices and things we're developing newly in our laboratories and get it out there where it can make a difference, where we can work with them to pilot, develop fields where we're growing particularly new strains of crops. All those kind of things, I think, are part of the extension. So it works beyond just agriculture, but it's critically important to agriculture.
President Stanley, there is so much support for this university. These individuals in this tent are more than willing to help you achieve different things that we need to work with, whether it's through the legislature, whether it's through the federal legislature, whatever it may be. But this university is truly near and dear to so many hearts in the state, and especially agriculture. And I would just encourage you to reach out to those individuals for support, reach out for those individuals for advice, and share what you're doing. Like I said, MSU has a huge footprint in this state, and we're here to help you succeed, because if you succeed, we all succeed, and the university will flourish. So thank you for being here.
And that's a wrap from the 2021 AgroExpo. For more news and videos, visit MichiganFarmNews.com or the Michigan Farm Bureau channel on YouTube. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Brose. Have a great week of farming.